Hi there and welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike and I'm excited to share another Divi tutorial with you. My goal here is to make learning Divi as straightforward as possible. Today we're going to see how we can create a mega menu in Divi without adding extra plugins. I hear you asking, a mega menu? What is that? Well, it's a simple little thing that we have. When we create menus in Divi, you can see that we get like the straight kind of look like this, right? Then that is all in line if it's all running at a single hierarchy. But as soon as you have a thing called sub-menu items under a parent item, you get it like this, where you have the parent item at the top and the sub-menu items at the bottom. But what happens when you have a very content-heavy website or a blog that maybe each one of these sublinks also have sublinks? And it's very difficult. You have to click and click and click and click to get to where you actually want to be. So we have a thing called a mega menu, where if you scroll over this one, you can see it lays out like that. So you have the About Us, and then it's got the links below that. So it's a much easier and quicker way to go and navigate through your site. We're hoping to build this using no extra plugins and probably under 20 minutes. Fingers crossed. And again, if that's something you want to build out, just let me know by hitting that like button below. Okay, let's jump right into this. So the first, if we go back to the article over here, how to create a mega menu article, this walks you through the whole thing step by step. I'll put the link to this article in the description below so that you'll easily be able to access it, and then you'll be able to build this out by yourself too. All right, so if you scroll through here, it gives you all the background information, you know, the benefits of using this, where you have ideal use cases, should you use this on mobile and tablets, and all of that. All right, you can head to the website and you can read through that if you want to read through it. What we want to focus on today is just how to build it out. All right, so let's jump to that. Build your own Divi menu. All right, so the first thing you can do is, some people just want to use a plugin. Let's be real. You don't have the time to go and tinker here, tinker there. You just want to put something in and get your thing running quickly. All right, and there's no shame in that. So I've just given you a list here of ones that are very popular and people are very happy using these. So you can always go take a look. This one over here has got a whole a bundle of headers as well as menu builder items. So you get all of these different types of plugins all for one cost rather than buying each thing individually. So you can save quite a bit of money there if you click on that one. All right, and then they have the other ones that individually the people rate quite highly. If we jump down a little bit though, we can see we get to the meat and potatoes of this particular website, and that is how to build a mega menu without a plugin. All right, so one thing to note is we will be using a little bit of CSS in this video, but not to worry, I will walk you through it step by step, just as it is in the article. All right, so the very first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to add a menu. Let's jump into the backend. So if we go to, in our backend menu, we go to Appearances and down to Menus. You can see here we have the menu that's actually being accessed over here for this particular navigation. So the very first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to just save this. And we're going to need to create a new menu. Okay, and then in this new menu, you just type in the name here and you build it out. Okay, I have one that I've sort of created before, so I'm just going to select that for now. Okay, and here it is. All it basically is that, maybe I just take this one out here. Okay, all I've done here is I've got my 4 items, which is the About Us, the Services, Products, and Contact Us. Okay, those are those 4 items that you can see over here in a way. And then what I've done is under each one of these parent items, I've put in some sub-menu items. So it's just link 1 to 3, service 1 to 3, product 1 to 3, and contact 1 to 3. Just purely so you can see how the placeholders work. These will obviously be different for every website that you build, and so don't worry too much about the naming of it, but rather just the positioning. Okay, so those are the 4. Then what I've done is I've created one more menu item, and I've made that the grandfather item or the grandmother or the grandparent item. While we have this as the parent item, this one's going to be the grandparent item or the godfather. I don't know. anyways, this one is going to be at right next to the side, and all the others will be indented as they go along. So you have this one, which is our grandparent. Then we're going to indent a little bit to our parent item, and then indent for the submenu items. Okay, so if that's clear, if not, just let me know in the comments and I'll explain it in more detail. So that's where we are right now. And so if I go here, I've added the menu. What I did next is I gave it a bit of structure. So that was the first structure that we put in. And then I put in the mega menu one, right? The grandparent one. And I pushed the others up. All right. Now what we want to do is we want to activate the mega menu. So where do we do this? If we jump back into our backend over here, we want to see if we go here into screen options, we want to make sure that CSS classes here is checked. I'm just going to uncheck this and I'm going to close it. And I'm going to come here into the mega menu. You see here's 3 options. There's URL, navigation label, menu parent, menu order, right? Now what I want to do, I want to go back and I want to click screen options again. And this time I want to check CSS classes. Okay, and I check it over there, close that, and I come back here and you can see straight away they have CSS classes. Now this is what we want to focus on, CSS class, because we want to give this the classes that that'll know that it's a mega menu. Okay, and then you can see I've already put it in, but if you go back to the article is going to tell you to put in the mega menu. Now notice when you put it in here, there's no dot before the mega menu. WordPress will pick it up straight away that this is the class because you're adding it in the CSS class field. Okay, so there it is right there. Now if I save this and I go to the front end and I refresh, what happens? Oh, everything goes crazy. Right, why did it do this? Well, let's go back to the menu and see if there's any setting that we might have missed. We go back here. Let's scroll down to the bottom. Okay, menu settings. We want to make sure that this primary menu is set. And then we hit save menu. And let's go back to the front end, refresh that, and there we go. Okay, that's all sorted. And there we have our mega menu. I mean, it's not that much to look at right now, but I think it will, you can see the functionality and how easily it lays out. Now, you can see if you scroll over any of the items here, there'll be like a natural fade that'll show you that you're hovering over those items. Okay, keep that in mind as we go forward with this as well. So if this is all you wanted, be free to jump out of the video and off you go, and you can enjoy your mega menu. But if, like some of us, you prefer to have maybe a little bit more color, a little bit more visual to this, then what we can do is we can jump to the next step. Okay, we can add in some images. So when we want to add in images, the first thing you want to make sure is that you actually have the images, right? The second thing you want to make sure is that your images have a width of 500 pixels and a height of 300 pixels. I found that these are the dimensions that work the best whenever you use it here. The images I'm going to use today are not these sizes. I'm just using what I have, but it's the same kind of relative size, the dimensions. What is, I can't remember the actual wording for it, but you know, the 9:1, 9:2, or however it is, those dimensions will be similar. All right, once you're happy with your images, just add them into your WordPress media library. And then what we're going to do is we want to go add in the code. So this one is not CSS, but this one is HTML. So we want to copy this, all that we have in this little block, just copy that. And we want to go back into our menu items. So over here, we're now going to look at the parent items because it's the parent items that are going to display the images. So if I click on the right arrow over here to open up the details of this sub item, or parent item actually, we have this navigation label. So we want to take this about us, and what we want to do is we want to wrap that in an image tag. So navigation label, I just want to put in about us. Okay, so we're wrapping that. So the next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that this insert image URL, that's where we're going to actually insert the image URL. All right, so let's go to media library and we can see where we can find that. So I'm selecting this image for my first one. And on the right hand side here, you can see here file URL. That is where the URL is. So you can either just click copy to clipboard, or you can Control C. Come back to menus, and here where it says insert image URL, just highlight that and hit the Control V. So if we save menu here now, and we go see on the front end, what does that do? Okay, so this is one of the things that I just wanted to highlight to you. If you see here, the image is displaying, but it doesn't know what image to display. So I want to go back to our Divi menu. And I wish I had a proper answer. Maybe if somebody else is a bit knowledgeable, they can let me know here, but I haven't worked out yet why this is happening. But if you go onto the image here and you right click on it and you inspect, and you come to the side, for some reason it's putting in a double quotes, and I don't know why over here. So if anybody knows why, can you let me know in the comments, and please educate me. So to overcome this, all you need to do is in the menu itself, go to back to there, and all you do is just take out the quotes over here. All right, take out those quotes, save menu. We'll go jump back into the front end, refresh, and over it, there the image shows. Now notice when I hover over the image here, it also fades. Now why is that? Because we are actually wrapping this link just with an image tag. So if I click on this image, it's also going to be clickable. And it's going to go to the same link that is set for this about us. Okay, keep that in mind as you go forward. All right, let's add in a few more, just so that we know how it works now. So let's go back here, Control copy, come back. Let's jump into services. And again, navigation label. Let's make sure that remains as services. Okay, what image do we want to use for this one? Go for the red one. Okay, grab that and jump into our menu. And so this time I want to highlight this, but I want to include the quotes, and Control V. Okay, save menu. Let's see how that worked. There it is. Okay, no issue. Shows how we want it to show. All right, so just quickly, let's just do the final two. Products, let's go jump in here. Oh, don't want another red one, I want the purple one. Okay, remember to include the quotes. Control V. Save menu, and the final one. Okay, and image. See if they have any more images. Oh, got a green one. Okay. Okay, and once all that is done, we can save this, and let's go see the front end over here. You hover over that. Nice. There, everything is showing quite nicely. All right. Now, there's one more step that we can do in this. If you're not happy with, like, let's say you can see here the services, it's pretty much the same size, font and everything as the rest of your links. So it doesn't stand out at all. So what we can do is we can actually give this a CSS class, and then we can style it a little bit more. Let's see what we can do there. Let's go back to the article. We scroll down, and we take this one here, this DD mega link, and just copy that. Come back to your menus. So you jump into the same one there. This is the about us parent item, and CSS class, all I do is mega link. Okay, make that small. Jump into the next parent item, CSS class, just Control V into that one. The next one, the services, again, same thing. And the contact us, I'm just going to add in that same CSS class. Right, then I'm going to hit save menu. I'm going to hit save menu again because I don't know if it's saved. I'm going to look what happened on the front end. And I think something would have happened. So let me just go over here quickly. Theme options. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to remove that and save changes. Okay, and we want to come in here. Just again, refresh and go in. Okay, so you see nothing has happened. So the reason for that is because we've added in the CSS class, but we have not added in the CSS. All right. So where do we get the CSS? Go back to the article, scroll down, and here you can see restyling the menu. You just select all of this. And what we're going to do here is basically we're going to resize the font. And then once we've resized the font, we're also just going to give the images itself a bit of a border radius so that it looks a bit more modern and sleek. Okay, so we can put this into our theme options. That will be the easiest place because you keep it all centralized. And then just hit save changes. We come back to our front end now. We refresh this. If we scroll over now, you can see there it is. About us, services, products, contact us. All nice and big so that you can clearly see it. You can see that the corners over here are rounded so that it gives a little bit more of a sleek look. And then your images are at the bottom here. So we can also style these and we can do whatever you want really when it comes to this because you got the actual elements that you can target. You can make these bold. You can basically do whatever you want to do with regards to this mega menu. But that is how you can quite easily create a mega menu without using a plugin in Divi. And I hope you found this useful and you'll be able to maybe implement one of these into a future project. And if you do come and share it here with us so that we can actually see how you used it. It'd be nice to learn from each other. So if you enjoyed this video, do let me know by hitting the thumbs up or just basically hitting the like button at the bottom there, because that helps to motivate me to create more content. And talking about creating more content, I'm still going to post more videos as I learn more about Divi. So if you'd like to join me on this journey, just hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos. And as always, I just want to thank you for sitting with me for almost 20 minutes. We're actually under it. I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.